Hello, everyone. Welcome to this new installment of the Wrestling Analyst. Tonight, I'm taking a look at what happened on the Smackdown episode of December 16th, 2022. Here we go. Okay, so the show starts with the women's tag team championship match between Liv Morgan and Tegan Knox versus Damage Control. Now, like every title match, contenders want to win the titles and champions want to retain. So that's repeating the same logic over and over again when you have a title match. Now, at one point in the match, Liv Morgan wants to go extreme, grabs a kendo stick from under the ring, and gets in the ring to try to hit her opponents. But Tegan Knox stops her because if she does that, well, they're going to get disqualified and they lose their chance to the title. Match was not bad. In fact, for those, in fact, it was very good. Now, in this match, there was some backstory to it. If you didn't follow NXT a couple of years ago, uh, you don't know that Tegan Knox and Dakota Kai used to be tag team partners down in NXT, and at the War Games, I think it was 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, NXT War Games. Uh, yeah, I think it was 3 years ago. Dakota Kai turned on Tegan Knox and re-injured her knee. Uh, so that's the whole backstory to it. Um, so there's a lot of heat in this match. Tegan Knox still wants to avenge that from a couple of years ago. Now, Damage Control win the match because a hooded figure comes and kicks Tegan Knox. And then she tries to get away, and she's grabbed by security and brought in the back. Io Sky hits the over the moonsault for the win. That hooded figure, we later learned that it was Xia Li. Now, why is Xia Li? I don't know. Is she gonna become a fourth member of Damage Control? I don't know. I don't think so right now. And the unfortunate thing is, I think they don't know what to do with Xia Li yet. It's going to be a heel turn for sure. But you see, some weeks ago, they had her confront Emma. The second week that Emma came back, and I really thought it was going to be Xia Li versus Emma for Emma's first feud back in the WWE. Brushed to the side. So now we might get not Emma, but Xia Li in a feud against Tegan Knox. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see how it goes in the next few weeks. Then we get a segment with LA Knight comes to the ring and talks about all the attacks that he's victim of. Says Bray Wyatt is the one attacking him. Bray Wyatt arrives, says, "You don't believe me, but I'm not the one attacking you, blah, blah, blah." And gets in the ring. LA Knight attacks him right off the bat. And Bray doesn't react. He just lets LA Knight hit him. And then you see Uncle Howdy appear on the screen. And Uncle Howdy is laughing and says, "What have you done? What have you done?" Image disappears. LA Knight starts to hit Bray again, and Bray still lets himself be hit. Music starts. Uncle Howdy comes out. So we got our first look live at Uncle Howdy, and now you know it's Uncle Howdy and Bray Wyatt are two different people for sure. So that storyline is so good right now. And think about that. Bray Wyatt came back at Extreme Rules, if I remember right. He has not wrestled a single match on TV since then. The only thing they did is develop his persona, develop his mystique. Uncle Howdy, interactions with Uncle Howdy, with LA Knight, all the interactions with Alexa Bliss on Raw. They're just building and building and building and building on Bray Wyatt's mystique, persona, and mystery. It's so good right now. That's the best storyline. And it's just show how much the genius of Wyndham Rotunda is getting out right now. It's genius. So anyway, let's go to match 2. And we'll see in the next few weeks how all this thing about Bray Wyatt develops. But I'm very looking forward to it. So let's go to the second match. So match number 2. Gunther versus Ricochet, the winner of the Smackdown World Cup for the Intercontinental Championship. Now, like I said in the first match, contender, the, the challenger wants to win the title, the champion wants to keep it. Simple as that. But there's another thing there. Gunther is the one that took the title from Ricochet about 6 months ago. So Ricochet never got a rematch. And this is his chance. This is the rematch he waited for. And 6 months ago, Gunther won rather easily on Ricochet. But this time was a lot different. First of all, let me just say, what a match. Psychology-wise, storytelling-wise, action-wise, and psychologically, you had the big brawler champion facing the baby face, high flying. It's the best thing you can have right now. Gunther, I heard about him before he was even in NXT UK. And what I saw was chops, 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 and like almost nothing. When I saw a little bit back in NXT UK and NXT, blew my mind back then. And to see him go with Ricochet like that, build a match like that, was so good. Gunther dominated a big bunch of the match, but Ricochet had resiliency. He showed resiliency. And even though Ricochet lost the match, that's a win for him anyway. Because it was a lot tougher for Gunther to win the match this time than when he took the title from him 6 months ago. So Ricochet's stocks. Let's let's say we're on in a stocks market right now. Gunther's stock is still very much up. He's still dominating for the Intercontinental title, but Ricochet's stocks went from here to here. So it went up even though in defeat. You know, in wrestling, sometimes you lose, but credibility wise, it's a win. And it's exactly what we had there. The majority of times, when you book matches in wrestling, that's the result you want to have most of the time. That the two guys win somewhere. And that's what we had there. So what a match between those two. And Gunther is a great champion, great Intercontinental champion. And why not make him beat the Honky Tonk Man's record? Why not? We'll see. There's still a long way to go. There's still over a year to go for that. So next there was a segment backstage in Roman's locker room where, there was a couple of things, but Roman asks Paul Heyman to call Adam Pearce in. So Adam Pearce, when he arrives, he talks about the problem. Roman talks about the problem he has with Kevin Owens on Raw. And he says he wants to solve that problem. So on December 30th, you're going to make a match. Roman, Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens and a partner of his choosing. So that's basically it. And we'll see and we saw at the end of the episode who the tag team partner is going to be. So I'll come back to that later on. So for now, let's go to match number 3. So last match of the night, yes, 3 matches. That's all we had Friday. Legado del Fantasma versus Hit Row versus the Viking Raiders for the number 1 contenders for the tag team championships held by the Usos. Now, first of all, I was wondering if they would send the Viking Raiders right off the bat against the Usos. Because going in, the Viking Raiders had were the team that had the most momentum going in the match. And Hit Row was the team that had the less momentum in the going in. Why am I saying that? Well, when Legado del Fantasma arrived on Smackdown, they attacked Hit Row and left them in the ring. And when the Viking Raiders came back, they attacked both Hit Row and Legado del Fantasma and blew them away. So right now, in this match, I was pretty sure the Viking Raiders would go on and win the match. Did not happen. The tag team that won the match was the one I thought had the less chance to do it. It was Hit Row. Now, are they being fed to the Usos after that? I don't know. I don't see them winning the title next week. That's for sure. If they do, it's going to be a big disappointment for me because uh, we're waiting for a big storyline to develop for the Usos to lose the tag team titles. Anyway, I'll talk more about that maybe on a chronicle for the Bloodline storyline. So Hit Row wins the match. They're going to face the Usos next week. Then, match was not bad. It was good. And one thing in there that's pretty sure there's going to be a lot of dynamics in there in those three teams because all three teams have a woman in them and they can wrestle. B-Fab, Zelina Vega, and Valhalla, or Sarah Logan if you like, but now she's Valhalla. All of them can wrestle. All of them can interact with each other. So there's a lot of possibilities in there. Three-way matches, one-on-one matches, tag team matches, mixed tag team matches. The possibilities are endless. No, not endless, but you know what I mean. So I'm looking forward to because that feud between the three is not over. That's for sure. Uh, especially between the three women, that's not over. That's not over by a long shot. Anyway, we'll see how it goes, but I don't think Hit Row is winning the titles next Friday. You can bank on that. Next, we had a segment with Raquel Rodriguez, who wants to have payback against Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey for what they did to her and to her friend Shotzi. And she gets attacked by both of them for her troubles. And they announced at the same time that there would be a gauntlet match next week for the number one contendership to the Smackdown Women's title. And then we have the final segment of the evening with the Bloodline. They get in the ring. Sammy is all shaved up. All his hair is shorter and everything. And Roman gets in the ring, says and goes to Sammy and says, that could have been a good night for you. It's like, oh, no. Because they were talking about making him a full-blown Sammy Uso and Jimmy and Jay earlier, I mean. And now, big disappointment for Sammy. But Roman says that in 2 weeks, Roman and Sammy are going to team up facing KO and a partner of his choosing. Now, big surprise. John Cena appears on the screen and says he just received a text from Kevin Owens telling him, hey, in the last 20 years, you have wrestled at least once in every year, except in 2022. You had no matches yet in 2022. So do you want to meet my tag team partner on December 30th? And John Cena says he will be Kevin Owens' partner on December 30th. So there you have it. John Cena and Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns. Now, is that going to be the night where Sami or the Bloodline turns on Sami? Is that going to be it? Maybe. We'll see. So that's it for this analysis of SmackDown. Hope you like it. I'll be back during the week for my analysis of Raw. So have a nice day. Have a nice evening, everyone, and see you soon.